Alright, this is going to be a little tutorial on the Ash Roberto strategy. This strategy is intended for any category where you get here with 3 attack power and an Akko and an Ash. If you don't have an Ash, then you can use a Firecracker. However, if you have the Chasing Slice ability, or it might, I don't remember if it's Chasing Slice or Projected Force. If you have one of those abilities, then using a Firecracker will not totally work for the strategy. Although if you don't have those skills, then Firecracker will work the same way. Alright, we only need one Ash, so you can pick up 6, use 1 Ash here, and then 5 for Monk Cheese. In, for example, a Sure Glitchless speedrun. Alright, there are 2 RNG variants. I'm gonna show the most common one and the most optimal one first. And so we first run up and buff around here. Don't buff in here, because if you buff in here, then Roberto's AI will activate and he will be in a weird spot. If you buff here, he'll always be at the same place every time. I followed this line here on the floor just for convenience, and so it's always the same. Then I Ash him and do 5 hits strafing around. He will stagger. Then hit him 2 more times, deflect, and I just keep hitting him and strafe over here, so my back is faced towards this little building here. You want to ideally not get staggered there, but right before the final hit of his Berserk, you dash backwards. I'm gonna show that again. Right before the final hit, you deflect there, and then for the final one, you dash back, and ideally you would avoid getting staggered by him going forward here, so that you can kill him slightly faster, but honestly it doesn't matter. From this point on, you have to deflect an attack from him, but it's pretty manageable, as long as you remember that when you want to deflect him, you attack him. Then you see he's gonna attack. At this point, you have a little bit of breathing room, and so you use S and D, or back on the stick, to get in a good position for the backstab. Since you don't have anything better to for the deflect, sorry. Since you don't have anything better to do than that, you don't have time for a hit there. So that's a general good tip, to back off before that, and then make sure that you push him off the right spot. Remember that if you push him this way, he's gonna go slightly over to the left. He'll always go slightly to the left compared to where you death blow him at. Keep that in mind. So I death blow him here, and he's gonna fall something like this. Generally, death blowing him in this spot, even though that this thing can sometimes be meanie, will generally work. Right. I will note that there are other setups for throwing him off, such as going over to this wall. You can try around with that as well, but this is just what I find slightly easier. The other method on the other side works as well, if you're more comfortable with that. Right. This is the second RNG that you can get. We start in the same way, and after we have hit him about 7 times is when we have to react. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stagger 1, 2, and at this point you see him doing this instead of the swing. For this one, you want to walk to the side. You can either walk to the left or to the right, you decide. And then afterwards, you can just hit him. He'll stagger before he has time to do anything else, and then comes another of his Berserk combos. Same thing, you deflect and then dash back for the final one. On this one I got staggered as well. One thing you can do is after dashing back is start walking left. I find that that would probably have saved me from getting staggered in this situation here. I don't know if I do that, but that's something that you can do. So you dash back and then hold to the left. He'll still hit you with the deflect, but his body, which is what staggers you here, will be over in this direction. Right. Then you just hit him, and sometimes you need to deflect at the end. And same thing, we knock him off in this area, which and therefore it's important that we're somewhat over in this direction when he's gonna berserk us, because he's gonna push us backwards. So when you're at this part of the animation or of the strategy, you have strafed directly to the other side of him, and at this point you want to come to the side of him. So you could do a little bit of unlocking here to fix your position a little bit if you want. Or you can avoid, you can do one less hit and then walk slightly with A, slightly to the left here. I do the max hits here, not really necessary, because like it doesn't really change that much, saving one hit. And also if you don't get staggered, then you'll be able to hit him earlier. So yeah, those were the RNGs. Remember, the start is always the same. With the Ash, 5 hits. Make sure to lock on for the Ash. Sorry, I did not explain that. But if you don't, then you can throw it between his legs, which is funny. But yeah, Ash, 5 hits stagger, then 2 more hits, then react. And then after that, then you go for the second stagger, which will lead into the berserk combo. And then you throw him off.